All right, this is my routine for keeping my ankles, knees, hips, lower back, and just back or spine healthy. So I'll just start doing the exercises. This is called the ATG split squat. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it. It's the knees over toes guy. I learned this from him, and I started doing this like maybe about 8 years ago because my knees were killing me. So the whole point is that it loads your knee completely, but a lot of people focus on the knee, but just remember your body works as a kinetic chain. So if you're having a problem in your knee, it could be from your lower leg. It could also be from your hips, which will then affect your lower back. And that's what I was experiencing a lot, is that my knees, my hips, and my lower back were just hurting all the time. So a lot of people focus on this movement, and I'm trying to get my knee as far forward as possible. I want like full knee flexion. If that's not possible, you can always elevate your heel or just let your heel come off the ground if you're new to this, and that totally works. Because what you want to do is, again, load your knee as much as possible with a slow, controlled movement. And I'm just doing all this with body weight. After I did like one set, what I would do is maybe then increase to 15 or 25 pounds or so, just holding on, just to load the knee more. But also, it's important to understand the volume, especially if you're like a martial artist and you're older. Doing too much volume of resistance training and then doing a lot of martial arts training is going to fuck your body up. It's going to fuck your body up. If you're over 35, you need to be very measured about your exercises. Unless you're on a fuck ton of steroids, then do whatever the fuck you want. But if you're not, like me, then you need to be very measured about your stretching and about the exercises that you do to keep your body healthy. So again, the ATG split squat, called Athletic Training Group Split Squat, is I'm knee focused. However, it's also affecting the back hip flexor. Okay, so super important that I straighten my back knee and flex my glute of my back leg, because that will stretch out my hip flexor muscles, the iliacus, the psoas, one of my quad muscles that attaches in my hip. So this is super important that not only am I focusing on the front leg, but the back leg. I'm squeezing that glute and trying to straighten that knee. And more than anything, I'm feeling a stretch right here. That will stretch your psoas out, which keeps your hips functioning well and loose, and it will keep your lower back healthy. If that psoas muscle gets tight, you will fuck your back up. I promise. Or you'll just feel always tons of back tension and you won't know why, okay? So super important. And again, I don't know how many I did right there, but I've been doing these for a while, so I can do a lot. But if you're new, just go until it burns. Go until you feel your quad burning, you feel that glute in the back leg burning. So I'll just go until it burns. And again, I'm doing slow control movements because it's time under tension. I'm sure everyone's heard that. But I want to load those tissues, and it's not just affecting the muscles by doing this knee over toe split squat, it's affecting the tendons and ligaments. And so by going slow, it allows those tissues to get as much blood flow as possible and to get as much time under tension as possible. So I'm moving slowly, like isometrics strengthen not only the muscles, but the tendons and ligaments as well, which is what keeps your joints healthy over time. So something to think about. All right, I'm going to move on. So that's the ATG split squat, super important. Next thing is called a hip C.A.R. And C.A.R. is that an acronym? No, it's not an acronym. Whatever, C.A.R. It means controlled articulate rotation. So controlled articulate rotation, a C.A.R. So my hip muscles that internally rotate my femur inside of my pelvis, if those get tight and you have terrible internal rotation, so this would be like internal rotation, it means the back of the muscles are pulling everything so tight that, again, it's eventually going to lead to overloaded muscles on the back and weak extended muscles like interior of your pelvis. So this is a exercise to help keep your groin and your hips healthy. So look, I'm in this like 90-90 seated position, And again, none of these are hard to do. You just need to like do them regularly, right? So you'll see each of my legs will function differently because my non-dominant leg is like way different. My one leg is longer than the other. One hip is like more musculature. I had an X-ray years ago because I was like, what's wrong? And so it's going to look different for everyone, and no one is symmetrical. So anyway, I'll stop ranting. Okay, so my back leg, I'm going to lift my foot off the ground as much as I can, and that might not look like a lot. Then I'm going to lift my knee, pull my heels together, and then go back, but I'm reversing. So my knee is going down to the ground. You see that internal rotation here and then here. So my foot is coming off the ground. I lift the knee. I go heel to heel. So as you're new at this, you might really need to like lean out because these muscles they'll feel simultaneously like weak and tight, this movement. But as you get used to it and the muscles get stronger, but also more flexible, then you'll be able to eventually like not use your hands at all. So here, but just do whatever, if you're new to this and you need to put your hand on the ground and like lean way over, that's okay. Do that. You can see I get more range of motion by like leaning away from it, but I'm affecting the muscles less. I'm requiring less work of those muscles. Okay. But as you get stronger at this, kind of, pull your hand closer to you. And don't worry about the range of motion at first. It's probably going to be terrible if you're feeling like you have a lot of hip and lower back problems. This is going to feel like you can barely do anything, and it will probably like be very uncomfortable the first time you do it. So again, I don't really count. I just go until it like really burns. So again, foot off the ground, knee off the ground, heels touch, knee to the ground, foot to the ground, foot off the ground, knee off the ground, heels touch, knee to the ground, foot to the ground, so on and so forth. And then again, I would do all the other side. So my left side, I have to lean more because the muscles are not as developed as my dominant right side. But I have a lot of lower back and left hip problems that I do not have on my right side. And over time, I've severely reduced those to the point where I can like train pretty hard for a 43-year-old man. No spring chicken anymore. I can't compete with 18-year-olds, but like I still like to train and work out. Anyway, those are hip C.A.R.s, controlled articulate rotations. All right, next thing I do is really back specific exercise. So just the back extension or the Roman chair extension, whatever you want to call it. I really want to hang here. This is not a glute development exercise. You can use it like that, put some weight on your back and explode up and squeeze your glutes, but that's not what I use it for. So I like this because it's a multifunctional kind of piece of equipment. You could use it to develop your glutes if you want, and even with some like hamstring, you could do that kind of stuff. But I use it for just my back. Okay, so I really hang at the bottom. It should be like a dead hang. And then I'm just going to slowly come up, purposefully not engaging my glutes. They'll do a little on their own, but I'm purposefully not squeezing my glutes. And so this really just keeps your lower back and all of the erector muscles that run the length of your spine really strong. And again, I'm doing all this body weight. I would do my first set at body weight, and then I'll increase weight a little bit. Like on the C.A.R.s, you could put ankle weights on after doing them for a couple months. But you can also roll up on this. That's really good. But again, I'm moving slowly. I'm not trying to just get a million reps. You can also extend and then roll down. Anything you can roll up and extend down. All of it's good. All of it's going to like work your muscles. Yeah. You could just go straight. But again, I'm not exploding because I want the tendons as well to get as much work as possible. Not just the muscles, but I want the tendons to be strong and also flexible. So again, on that, you'll just do as many reps as you can. But what you're not doing is exploding up and like hyper extending like this. Okay, so that's just putting a lot of pressure in an explosive way on your lumbar spine, which you don't want. Okay, after that, super important for keeping your back healthy is like You need to keep your core strong. Your abdominal muscles need to be strong, okay? So the easiest way, I do any variation of like a hollow body hold. And when I say hollow body hold, I'm squeezing my core and I'm like up off the ground. So if your core is not that strong, you can always tuck up a little, but like have the intention of squeezing your core. And you can do anything from here. You could just do like a tuck crunch here. You could do a tie crunch here. And again, if you're new to this, just kind of stay up and squeeze your core, okay? But being able to balance on your hip is just a sign of like core stability. So it could be knees to toes, or sorry, hands to toes, anything like this that's affecting your core. What you do not want to have happen is when you go back, your back hyperextends and there's space. That means your core has disengaged, and that is not good for your back. Even just doing simple floor core exercises, you can hurt your back if you're doing them incorrectly. So keep your core engaged. Even like a sit up like this, like my core needs to be tight. Anytime your back hyperextends, that is not good for your spine. So keep your core tight, your ribs closed down to your pelvis, squeeze, and you can really do anything. So just a hollow body hold could be any variation. It doesn't matter. After you can do a whole bunch of those, I move to a harder core exercise, just a hanging core exercise. And there's all kinds of variations of this as well. So I'm here, I could go toes to bar. That really requires not only, a lot of core strength, but your lats need to be strong as well. Or any variation of, I could just do a tuck, but I control down. Same thing applies to my back. If I just release, you could, hurt your back, but also like you're not getting core work by just releasing. So you could just do an isometric hold or an L sit, whatever. Any kind of hanging exercise is probably going to be the most intense for your core. Don't worry about reps. Just go until it burns. Do 2 or 3 sets twice a week. That really is what you should be doing. You're not trying to destroy yourself. You're trying to keep your joints healthy.